Well, I think people love conspiracy theories for many reasons. Believers like conspiracy theories because they give them a sense of certainty about the world and an explanation for political or economic events that might otherwise have no easy explanation. And people find that very empowering, I think, because they believe they have the truth, and it gives them a sense of security in the world. Other people find them simply entertaining, I think. I know in researching this book, I found such a wide variety of really kind of curious and eccentric explanations for why political events occur, that as a political scientist I found that, just the range of explanations entertaining enough to want to pursue the question of why so many people believe these things. Well, conspiracy theories are popular now in North America and particularly the United States, more so than Canada, for a number of reasons. But typically, conspiracy theories become important in political dialogue whenever there is political uncertainty. So our period's not unique with respect to that. Great Britain at the beginning of the 20th century also experienced a wave of conspiracy discourse. Across the 20th century, we have a number of contributing factors to the popularity of conspiracy theory. In the United States, for example, you have a government that grew in size and influence very rapidly in the early 20th century and was one of the strongest powers on the globe for most of that century. Therefore, when that government began to lose power, or when it could no longer, accurately really, control is probably too strong a word, but accurately determine the outcome in many conflicts and that kind of thing, people began to question it. With the expansion of that power, government agencies that behaved in not particularly reasonable and sometimes legal ways. For example, the actions of the FBI and the CIA in around the 1960s and 1970s were highly questionable in many circumstances. So people, perhaps rightly so, began to question what the government was actually doing. You have, at the same time, very clear evidence of particular conspiracies, for example, Watergate, that caused people to be concerned. As the international system changed from bipolar to unipolar in the early 1990s, and there was a lot of uncertainty, you found the rise of conspiracy theories in popular culture, and particularly in TV shows, for example, like The X-Files, but also in books that were published at the time, and other sorts of venues. Now today we would think of the internet in particular, where there are hundreds of thousands of conspiracy theories. Okay, conspiracy theories divide the world into good and evil, and into right and wrong in very clear terms. You're one of us, or you're one of the evil few that are controlling the globe. And if you don't know about the conspiracy, for example, you were the conspirator's dupe, in fact. This way of thinking is problematic, first of all, in a very practical way, because conspiracy theories are very amenable to other extremist ideologies, so that you can find justification for your extreme religious belief or your extreme political belief in thinking in conspiratorial terms. The government is out to get us, or there is a conspiracy of a particular religious group that's trying to control the world, those kinds of questions. And past history has shown us that people who think in those ways sometimes behave in very violent ways, such as Timothy McVeigh and the Oklahoma City bombing, for example. In reading the book The Turner Diaries, he became convinced that there was a Zionist outfit trying to control the American government, and decided that his best action to prevent the continuation of that and to bring it to everyone else's attention was to blow up the Oklahoma City, the Murrah building in Oklahoma City, for example. In the long term, conspiracy theories are very problematic for democracy too, because they disincline people to engage in political life in a meaningful way. You know, there's no real reason to go out and vote if you believe that the determination of who's going to win, it has already been made. You know, if you're living in a world where you believe that you're controlled through your driver's license, or that the barcodes on the items that you buy in the supermarket are telling the government information, then you have no real reason to participate at any level, aside from acting out violently. And it's bad for the population as a whole. It's bad for you personally, I think, if you don't participate in government, in your own government. But for the long-term health of the political community, you need many voices and many people talking about the future. And if you have a large segment of the population that's not prepared to do that, then the democracy and the health of the country is in danger. And I would say that you end up in that kind of instance with the kind of country, the kind of government you might fear as a conspiracy theorist. Right? If no one or not enough people are participating, or if only particular groups of people are participating, then perhaps one stratum does come to control the government. Although I guess maybe that sounds a bit conspiratorial too.